Well, Bexar County voters were also voting on amendments to the city charter. There were 6 propositions on the ballot, all 6 passing. Back in 2018, voters voted 70% to cut the salary for the city manager and to limit that term. But this go round, they voted to eliminate that. This is Prop A, the Ethics Review Board, that passed handily. They're adding some verbiage into that for conflict of interest. And then on Prop B, that's just updating language. Let's go to Prop C, which is the one for the city manager. And that was really the closest one, 54% for, 46%. This removes the cap for the salary for the city manager and removes the term limitation. And the fire union was out voting to maintain that cap and those term limitations. They were, I guess voters didn't agree with them on that.
Right.
And what do you think about voters voting for all 6 of these propositions?
Yeah, I'm surprised, really. I thought that maybe one of them would fail, particularly maybe perhaps this one, because firefighters were out in full force for this. They were out at the election sites. They were wearing their yellow T-shirts, holding the signs, telling folks to vote no, which is important because so many of these folks coming to this election aren't aware that the propositions are even on the ballot. So a little surprised, and the 4 votes are winning on election day as well. So it looks like it's on its way to passing.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised, and I think it goes to the language. I think the language was very ambiguous and not clear, because you would have people being against, and when they got in the poll, I think they were confused and not quite sure what way they were supposed to vote because of the language. And the firefighters were certainly against it, but they weren't against it as much as they were for it when it was initially on the ballot. And I think the resources that were available to fight it were much more limited than the resources that were pushing it.
I also think it's good for San Antonio. I mean, I think passing this proposition allows us to, one, keep Eric, which is a good thing, I think, and then also to offering adequate compensation for this work. San Antonio is one of the lowest paying cities when it comes to our city manager, and it's a huge, I mean, you're running a huge company essentially, right? And so it's nice that this will allow us to continue to recruit the brightest and the smartest out there, which is important in terms of our city, which we know it's growing. You can tell by all the construction that's everywhere. Right. So definitely we need a city manager who's up to task, and we've got to be able to offer that compensation to bring in the best.
I agree with that, but I'm surprised about a couple of the other issues. Allowing the city employees to be involved in campaigns could make us like the Chicago. And I'm very surprised that one passed with that margin. I'm also surprised about the change in term limits. I think that's a very surprising one. I think people really want an opportunity to speak and speak to whom is representing them. And I'm surprised that both of those passed by those same margins.
Yeah, and then there is ability to recall in this. So, but the reality is that running a recall election, it's expensive. So to think that citizens are going to rise up and collect signatures, that's just naive. It's not going to happen, right? You'd have to have a full scale campaign that's really funded to be able to unseat someone who's in that race. And then we were talking about this off camera, that really, because it's 4, it's kind of 8 to be realistically. It's really 8 because it's going to be really hard to unseat someone who's been there 4 years unless they've just done a horrible job. But you have the advantage of the incumbency. You're going to, you have all the resources of the city to get your name out.
And now you have the city employees.
Yeah, now you have the city employees
now they can campaign.
Yeah. So I think we're looking at less turnover in council.
All right, ladies, thank you so much for joining us. Really enjoyed your analysis.